Shut it down, bird.
Alright, what it do, Iceberg crew? It's your boy Book of Burge. And I decided to switch it up today. I'm gonna hit y'all with a story time. This is essentially the story of me having four different teachers in fifth grade. Now you might be thinking to yourself, how is that even possible? Like what does it take to have four different teachers enter your 1 year class? I'll tell you. I'll tell you. We'll take it nice and slow, peel it back layer by layer. Um, but let me just preface this by giving a little description of what my school was like. So this was middle school, obviously fifth grade, and our school was labeled as a Catholic school, but in all honesty, God, it was nowhere near Catholic. Like we had to go to church, some days. It was like required liturgy, all that good stuff. But when I tell you, almost all of my classmates, we were troublemakers, me included. I ain't gonna lie. I was getting a little testy, but um, yeah. I mean, what can you say when you have a Catholic school in the quote unquote hood of where I came from? Anything's possible. Let's start this off with teacher number one. So teacher number one, I don't actually remember her name. If we're gonna keep it 100, so we'll just call her the nun because she dressed like a nun. She honestly looked like a nun, one of the sisters, but we'll call her the nun. So the nun was, regular. Like I said, it's a Catholic school, so she fit the mold pretty well. For starters, we're gonna use some abbreviations just so I don't, what I'm saying, in case this video would ever blow up, but it probably won't. But it's all good. But in case, I don't want people to be exposed, so we're gonna use some nicknames for these people. There was one particular student that the nun didn't like, and that student didn't like the nun either. We'll call her Carly. So Carly was, she was top tier troublemaker. Like, let's keep it 100. She was the one that, came to class with an agenda to just make everybody's life difficult. I don't know why. I don't know what was going on at her house, but she just wanted to bring that same energy over to the classroom. Which, it is what it is. It made my days kind of fun there. That's why I remember the story. But yeah, Carly. Essentially, Carly. Um, how do I put this? Yeah, she got on the teacher's nerve. She got on the nun's nerve, to a breaking point. It would be little things like she would raise her hand, just to answer a question, and obviously that shows some engagement in the classroom. But Carly knew exactly what she was doing. I remember one time we were just doing just like regular science. It had to do with the planets, but we had a cheat sheet posted like on top of the chalkboard. Mind you, that we go way back, so we had chalkboards. We were not up to the expo markers and stuff, but above the chalkboard, it was like the essentially like the list of all the planets in the solar system. Our way of remembering it was like my very eager mother just serves us noodles. Obviously, it's like Mercury, Earth, or Venus, whatever. You get the point. But we would have that hanged up, and as we're doing the art thing, teacher's just like, okay, just for a reminder, like what goes after Jupiter. And then Carly would raise her hand, not even looking at the cheat sheet, even though the nun was like, it's okay to do so, but she was like, um, I don't know. Like she would raise her hand and literally just say, I don't know, like just to like pass time and just cause problems. Over time, stuff like that got on the nun's nerve. But it got crazier when it came to just like, snack breaks and stuff. Oh my goodness, my dude. Carly was not, I don't even know how to put this into words, but she was not with the system. Every time we had a snack break, she would raise her hand and asked to go to the bathroom. Regular stuff, right? Nun's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Make it quick. Obviously, our snack break's like 10 minutes. She goes, instead of going to the bathroom, she literally left the school just to go a little bit down the street and cross the street to buy herself a patty because she didn't have a snack on her. 10 minutes are up. The nun's like, making sure everybody's in the class, and she's like, "Where's Carly?" Carly literally comes in munching on a patty, my dude. Takes her seat like nothing happened. Like she's chilling. The nun's just like, um, like, excuse me, like where'd you just go? I thought you said you were going to the bathroom. And she's like, oh, I got hungry, so I went to the patty store. The nun, yo, I remember that day specifically. She was heated because, I mean, for one, being a young middle schooler, safety is like the number one priority. But in addition to that, I mean, the nun was like, yeah, next time, like, I could lose my job because of that, and you could literally get suspended. So, why would you think that's okay? Yada, yada, yada. After that day, because literally that day, Carly was having like a whole argument. It's just crazy because she knew what she was doing, but yet she just wanted to cause a problem. Like, her main goal was to get the nun out of teaching us that year, and she did that very well. I remember, well, I don't remember because I was sick like almost that whole week. But apparently there's just a whole week where she was just causing problems for the teacher, to the point where I come back from my sickness. I remember I saw her one day for like the last like two classes because I came in late. She was like almost silent. We had instructions on the board. She was not talking to nobody. And the next thing I know, the next day she's like, "Oh yeah, I can't teach you guys no more because my son is very ill and he won't be recovered for a couple months and I have to take care of him." I don't know about y'all, but that sounds like a lot of cap to me. So Carly's mission was successful, and boom, the nun was out of there. Now that's teacher number one, and that took quite a lot to talk about. So we gonna speed it up a little bit. Teacher number two, it was a quick story, quick story. We'll call him Sully. So Sully came in, this big buff dude, probably like 6'6", like muscular ass dude. When I tell you, like, he was intimidating. I was like, this is not someone to be messed with. And it's funny because it's just like we go from the nun to this like crazy ass dude that was not putting up with any type of BS. Um, so it looked like he was glued to be our teacher for the rest of the year. 2 weeks later, my dudes, 2 weeks later, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go get my master's, so I'm leaving. People in my class were celebrating like crazy because they were like, "Oh my goodness, that would have been hell if we had him." And you could tell, like, that guy was not playing any type of games, but he wanted to get his master's, which makes no sense. It's just like, why be a substitute teacher? Well, I mean, he knew he was a substitute, but not even for a whole month. My man was there for 2 weeks. But anyways, teacher number three. Teacher number three, we'll call her Henny, because she was definitely off it. She was definitely off the Henny. Um, and ironically, um, her and Carly had some beef. Cause I'm telling you this right now, Carly was the troublemaker of our class. Like, you have the class representative, but if you had like a class troublemaker, that's literally her. She gets the crown for it. Um, Henny essentially, or we'll call her Miss Henny to be more accurate. Miss Henny essentially, for one, she had a twitch problem, so she looked crazy off the jump. Um, couple sentences in, she would just have that little twitch in her eye, just talking to us, and you would think, this woman's crazy. This woman's actually crazy. But Carly was not afraid. Literally, Carly was not afraid of anything. It came to the point. I mean, like, take the pattern of the nun and replicate it with another teacher. You know, snack breaks. Arguing a lot, asking like questions that they knew the answer to. Just a bunch of foolishness. Um, yeah, that's what happened between them two. And mind you, Miss Henny was black, and my class was full of like Haitians. So there was a lot of cultural, backlash to say the least. But one particular day, oh man, it was wild. She was passing back test because we took a test like a couple days before. She was passing back test. She gave Carly her test. Obviously didn't study for the test due to her reaction. She was mad that she basically failed, but it's like, what do you expect when you literally do nothing? So she looked at the test, she gasped, being all dramatic or whatever, and she crumpled it up and threw it at Miss Henny's face. I mean, I'm sitting in my seat just chilling, looking at my test, cause I'm a AB scholar. You feel me? But as I look up the test, because at the same time that she threw the paper at her, another classmate, we'll call her Meg, she was, taking the test, going back to her seat. As I look up, I see Miss Henny pick up the trash can. I'm like, the black trash can, my dude. Pick it up and fling it at Carly. But guess what? Carly ducked. And instead of hitting Carly, it hit Meg. Yo, it hit the innocent girl that did nothing. So next thing you know, the next day, Miss Henny comes in with the principal as pure evidence, and she's just like, "Yeah, I have to leave, for this, and that. I don't know, some nonsense reason that didn't even make any type of sense. Because it was just like we knew what you did. You know what you did. So that's three, and then the fourth teacher, we'll just call him Cole, cool boy Cole. He was the teacher for the rest of the fifth grade. So that's the story time of how I had four teachers. It was really like two major ones, but there you go. Um, Definitely like and subscribe, and hope to see you all in the future.
Shut it down, bird.